Gabriel, give me life.
Hey, baby! Just a reminder, the view from back here's great! No buts about it!
Ramatek felt as captive as the thing the inhabitants of Aranis were guarding. As a child, he found it truly difficult to understand why he should devote his whole life to becoming a jailer. He cared little that the prisoner, which they called the Entity, could bring about the end of the world. How could Ramatek want to protect a world that he had not even been able to know? All of these concerns were at the forefront of his mind, while he was driven with the other children to the inner containment chambers. When the huge sealed doors opened, Ramatek beheld for the first time the appearance of the prisoner. It was a huge lump of meat that did not even remotely resemble a humanoid form. He had read that it was the remains of an ancient deity, the body of an unholy god who died trying to reach the world. Another strong impact shook the central structure of the cathedral. The attack was more powerful than the previous one, which meant it was just a matter of time until they would surpass Aranes's mystical defenses. Somehow, these creatures had discovered the existence of the sanctuary and its prisoner. Those who lurk in the shadows had lost their leader not long ago, and they probably thought that the entity sealed in the cathedral would allow them to rise against the world for a second time. Ramatek had lived his whole life within these walls. Despite his childish reticence, he had come to love them as much as he loved all the people who were at his side. It was ironic that only now, when everything was in danger, he realized his true feelings. The priest was not a normal person and was perfectly trained. Acting swiftly, he went to the chambers where the prisoner was locked and began diverting part of the supernatural power of the seals to the external protections of the building. It was a risky move, but would allow Aranes to resist the attack with minimal effort. Just an instant before the system was activated, a huge explosion destroyed the entire cathedral, causing the whole place to come down, crushing Ramatek and everything around him.
Baby? There's something I have to tell you. There's a library card in the back of me, and I'm long overdue.
Just shut up, please.
That's a Nexus Guardian, babe. Keepers of primordial supernatural cores. I wonder what it could be protecting. Babe, the Guardian, he had something different. I noticed it when I absorbed its existence. A magic formula codex. Very primitive, but linked to the seals of this place.
Add the formula to our magic. With any luck, it'll resonate with the seals in this place. Maybe we'll be able to activate them now.
Let's use some attack spells on that thing, baby. Any of them will work.
seal. The entrance won't be open much longer. We need to destroy the barrier quickly.
Two more. One more.
We don't have any fragments.
Babe.
I know. It's him again.
It's too late for Ramatek. I have already destroyed it. You won't be able to reclaim it now.
So you can talk after all. Who are you? Are you one of the messengers?
You are the ones who call me that, but yes, I suppose that you could say that I am one of them.
Are you the one behind all of this? The one who brought us to the tower?
Maybe you really don't know anything. Maybe you are just another pawn. But even then, it doesn't matter. You must be stopped. Your world won't be saved.
You monster!
Enough. We don't have time. This place won't hold itself much longer without Ramatek around.
You. Leave her out of this. I'm sorry. I know that you want the cool guy spot in this drama. You even brought your own attire. Nice coat, by the way. But the role is already taken.
Dark Messiah, I'm afraid that letting her out won't be possible.
You really don't know who you are messing with, boy.
Let's end this. Your story.
this place. It can't hold itself together anymore.
You were saved by the bell, pal.
And so, the story goes on for you. Just a little more. Girl, you should wonder if you really want to become an instrument of salvation.
What? In the middle of a pool of blood, the man stands like a shadow, a dreadful entity of nightmares. Suddenly, the man who came from the darkness notices something. The child, completely terrified, is clinging to him with all the strength that her tiny arms allow. For other people, the man would have been much scarier than any monster. But for the child, he was her savior. "And who are you, little baby?" he asks. And then, I always awake. Everything was devoured by him, but he gave her something much more important. Hi. No funny comment this time?
No need. I think we said all that could be said to each other before.
Ergo, I'm sorry. The things that I said to you last time. You were really worried about me, weren't you? The horrible monster, Ergo Mundus, was worried about me. I really am afraid, Ergo. I feel like something inside of me is breaking. If even you, who's never afraid, were worried for me.
Ugh. You are a real idiot, baby. You really think that I would let anything happen to you? Oh, man. It's just too much fun for me to tease you to allow that to happen.
Idiot.
Don't worry. You'll get through this. I'll make sure of it.
Thanks, Ergo. Thanks for everything.
Let's go. We need to find out just what is happening here.
Do you have any idea what the Nameless Messenger wants?
No more than you. But that guy is crazy powerful. I feel that he has not showed us all he's got. He's going easy on us. And that really pisses me off.
What he said to us. An instrument of salvation. That's exactly the same thing Lady said. I wonder how this is all connected.
Don't concern yourself with that. We don't have all the pieces yet. We'll face him again.
My lady, there's something I need to ask you. We just met a strange messenger who talked about me becoming an instrument of salvation, and Lady said something similar about herself. I was wondering if you had heard something like that before?
In the past, we used that term to talk about people who performed an immeasurable sacrifice to end the war in the shadow. I myself have been called thus, having forfeited my body to stop the first evil. However, I doubt that this can be the same case. He must be talking about something we can't understand yet. If he is alive, maybe it would be wise to inquire about it when you meet him again.
Welcome back, my child. You have done well. I'm proud of you. I always have been.
Thank you, my lord.
You have always carried the weight of a sin you didn't commit. Something that was imposed on you by chance. But here you are now. Your work is almost done. There is only one thing left for you to do. We know who the last messenger is. We always knew the creature which stands on top of Arcane, the one destined to rule the tower and destroy the world. That calamity was here from the very beginning. He is the final enemy that you must face, the last thing you will have to destroy. You know what it is. It is something that has been with you for your whole life.
My lord, what are you asking of me?
I am asking you to save us all. I am asking you to destroy the ultimate monster that could annihilate the world. You are not a child anymore. You know what I mean. Open the door to the last floor. Do what must be done.
You know what he's asking, don't you?
Terrified, Ramatek tried to move, but his body was trapped by debris. Above him, the bloody meat mass of the prisoner, impaled by some broken columns, writhed and twisted, tearing its flesh. The blood of the creature began to spout from its wounds, and Ramatek could only watch helplessly as it slipped between the fallen stones towards him. After a few seconds that felt like a lifetime, the blood spilled over his face and ran down his forehead to reach the corners of his eyes. Blinded, the priest screamed in pure horror until everything fell silent. When he opened his eyes, the world was not the same anymore. In an instant, the rocks that blocked his body became ashes, and the dark form of the priest rose between them. What stood there was no longer a person, not even a mortal being. Ramatek looked at what was left of the prisoner. None of the priests of Aranus ever understood the truth. That was not a god, only discarded remains. Confused, the priest went to the door, exterminating both the attackers and all the survivors on his way. For him, none of them were people anymore. He saw only blots on the move. It had been 10 years since Ramatek left Aranis, after what he considered his awakening. With some melancholy, the dark priest stared at the ruins around him. His eyes perceived everything as only he could. An environment in which the material and the spiritual world formed a swirling chaos. That abomination was something that Ramatek had learned to hate, and its mere vision upset him so much that with a slight fit of rage, he destroyed what remained of the central chamber of the cathedral. While fragments of the walls fell around him and turned to ashes, the priest wondered again how he could have been so blind his whole life. Like 1,000 times in the past, he silently thanked his God for blessing him, for opening his eyes to the truth. Existence was a sin. The whole creation must disappear. That absolute truth, which only he understood, had become his gospel, an intrinsic part of his own nature. The world, in its folly, would consider him insane and would try to stop him, but they could not. Nothing could. Someday, he would awaken the only God. Someday, the whole existence would come to an end. That was his destiny.
am sorry, World Walkers.
I am the one who devours everything.
Haskell wasn't.
Blood. Blood. Blood! I don't want this! The door! The door's open!
I am eternally grateful to you.
I think.
Foolish entity, you have unleashed me. You broke the chains of the most powerful entity there ever was.
Ergo, you and this guy should be friends.
You don't really know who you're talking to, do you, little punk? I am Ergo Mundus. I am power incarnated.
You are nothing. I am the one who devours everything. The one who stands over creation itself. I am the power.
Best friends forever.
I am weak now, but I am slowly regaining my power. Soon, I will be complete. Foolish, if you wish to measure your pathetic power with the greatest being ever. Come back soon. Once I am complete, you will have the challenge of your lifetime.
This place is the folklore. It may not seem like it, but we are on the back of a gargantuan beast, a huge turtle. Its master is the Dark Child of Light, Jonathan Capel. He is the current Fairy King, a powerful entity with the form of a little child. The folklore is inhabited by elementals and ancient spirits, many of which are quite powerful. They're mostly sealed in statues, masks, and artifacts, which are part of Jonathan's collection. The